Welcome back to my channel. It's a new day and that means a new advanced movie screening day. Today I am watching The Last Voyage of Demeter or Demeter. I've heard it pronounced different ways. So this is basically a chapter from the Bram Stoker Dracula book, a book that I have not read, but I know that's where it comes from. And I've seen different comments on YouTube for fans of that book who are really looking forward to this iteration of this story. I think it's really interesting that it's only one chapter, but they're making a full-fledged movie on it, so that could be interesting. It is categorized as a horror fantasy. I'll be on the lookout for that. I'll be looking out for how are the horror elements and how are the fantasy elements. Even though I feel like the sole fantasy element of this is just going to be the fact that Dracula is going to be in this. But he looks like a monster in this one, so it's a monster creature feature, which we don't really get that much of. Except for the occasional shark movie, I guess, but it's not that fun. All right, guys, I'm taking you with me. What's up, you guys? Just got out of the theater and watched Last Voyage of Demeter, and I gotta say, didn't love this one. I didn't love it at all, but I will still start out with the positives. I enjoyed the atmosphere. Some of the sets, which is mostly the ship, it does feel like a ride, but being a girl who grew up on Pirates of the Caribbean, loving that movie, obsessed with that franchise, you know, like the first three, I didn't mind it. I thought it was atmospheric. There's like lots of like fog and darkness that's used. I also really like the use of the shadows in this movie. There are points of views from the characters where they're staring out into the ship and it's really dark, and it plays with the shadows a lot where they don't really know what they're seeing. Is it the moonlight playing with my mind? Is there something there? Is it just the dark sails in the night? We don't know. So I really love how the shadows are played out with the creature and the nighttime. And as far as positives, I think that's about it. Because I thought this was just mostly boring. I can't say that I wouldn't recommend you to watch this at all. I think so sorry for the change in lighting, and that's what happens when you don't charge your light. But anyway, I recommend you wait. Do not run out to the theater to watch this. We are still in our lifetime waiting for a good creature feature movie, and I think it's hard because you can't help but fall into the trap of, I'm gonna show you the monster for a second and then I'm gonna pull away. I'm gonna show you the monster for a second and then I'm gonna pull away. It keeps repeating the same beats. And you know, it's Dracula. I want to see Dracula. We all want to see Dracula, but I think he pops in and out way too much that it just starts to lose steam. And I think that's something that could happen when you're watching a horror film and you're trying to keep the stakes high. I do like the stakes of having this be set in a ship because, you know, they are far away from anybody else, they're far away from any lands, and they are trapped. There's this forced proximity, so I think it has a good setup, a good setting, but the movie just falls short. I don't care about any of the characters at all. There is this really cool dope scene where there's a certain, I don't want to spoil, but someone dies during the daytime and it's really tragic for one of the other characters. That is the one scene that really kind of stood out to me. If you know, you know. When you watch it, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's just, there's nothing really special either about the direction of this movie. The writing felt just kind of stale. I think this whole movie altogether, apart from the things that I already mentioned that I liked, feel kind of stale. It wasn't for me. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't amazing. It was just there. Having said all that, I kept thinking, am I gonna give this a 2 or 3 out of 5? And if I give this a 3, that would mean that it's an average film. But I also would not watch this ever again. But I did tell you guys that it's not terrible for you to not ever watch it. But I'm telling you, do not go to the theater to watch this. Just wait till you could stream it. So I'm gonna give it a 2.5 because it is what it is. 2.5 out of 5. That's where we are. I also feel like there was a missed opportunity to make this scarier. This kind of uses cheap jump scares, which when I catch that now, I just feel disappointed and annoyed because they could have done more. There are scenes where there are some gory things, some horrible things that do happen to certain characters, which, by the way, trigger warnings for animal violence. I think some people out there will be very sensitive to that, and I wish I had known that before going in. So I don't want to spoil too much about what happens, but fair warning, there is some animal violence in this. I think this could have been scarier. It's hard. On the one hand, you do want to see Dracula, but on the other hand, they could have done something like an Alien or a Jaws, where they kind of keep the big monster hidden away but still make it feel like it's a terrifying experience, and I just didn't feel that. Kind of it lost the momentum for me. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this movie outing. Until the next time, I have no idea what I'm watching next. We'll see what I see next. But if you like this content, hit subscribe and hit that big thumbs up. That really helps me out. It really helps to push the visibility out, and it also helps to motivate creators to continue creating. And I'll catch you guys next time.